Welcome to Average Joe's Pool. Today we're bringing you another in our series of pool chalk review videos, and in this particular video I'm going to be looking at this, which is the Kamikaze pool chalk. So what is Kamikaze chalk? Well, as you've probably already guessed, it's obviously named after the ancient art of Japanese paper folding.
There we go.
But unlike the name suggests, this stuff does not actually come from Japan. Kamikaze is based out of New Mexico, USA. And they're probably most famous for their pool cue tips, of which they make literally dozens of different ones. But they also make one model of pool cue chalk, and that's exactly what we have here. And Kamikaze chalk only comes in one option, and that is this box of two, available only in one colour, blue. And with regards to pricing on this 2-pack of chalk, the cheapest that we found it online from the dedicated pool suppliers was around $7 for the 2 cubes. And this is also available to buy on Amazon. It is a little bit more expensive at $9.99. But of course, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you'll likely get free shipping on that as well. So we're going to give this an average pricing of around $4.25 per cube. So as you can see, the pricing's not bad on the Kamikaze chalk, and when it comes to this price level, there's certainly a lot of competition. So can the Kamikaze hold its own? We've got some technical tests to get stuck into to see exactly how well this performs. So let's get started. So here at Average Joe's, we do test a lot of different brands of chalk. So to help us do that, we have a standard set of equipment that we use and also a standard set of tests. And if you want any more details on the equipment that we use or the test that we perform, please be sure to check out our chalk off video, where we compare lots of different brands of chalk all in one video. And in our chalk off videos, we go into more detail on what the particular tests entail and the equipment that we use.
I don't know, tribal memory, I guess.
So for test number 1, let's look at application. The Kamikaze chalk definitely has an unusual feel. It tends to go on in quite a thick layer and almost sticks to itself, giving it quite a tacky quality. And this makes it nice and easy to get a good and even layer. But it does also make it quite easy to get the chalk a little bit too thick accidentally. But as far as application goes, it has a nice feel and it's relatively easy and quick to apply. So we'll award a very solid 4 stars out of 5 for application. For test number 2, we're looking at miscue limit, and in this test we'll be seeing how many draw shots we can perform without rechalking and always hitting the cue ball with the same point on the tip. And we repeat this test for a minimum of 3 sets to ensure we get a good overall average. Additionally, the cue ball is cleaned and polished using Aramith ball cleaner before the test begins to remove any old chalk and ensure that it's super clean. And a great point of reference here is Master chalk, which is pretty much the unofficial industry standard, and Master achieved an average of 4 draw shots under our test conditions. And unfortunately, the Kamikaze did not fare well at all in this test, scoring just 3 shots, 4 shots and 3 shots across the 3 sets, which gives us a disappointing overall average of 3.33 shots. And so with an average of just 3.33 draw shots, the Kamikaze limps home with just 2 stars for miscue limit. Moving on to test number 3, we'll be testing for chalk retention. And for this test, we'll be striking the cue ball with 10 firm hits and then repeating for a second set using 10 hard hits. And the cue will be lightly rechalked as required between each shot. And what we're looking for here is how much chalk is lost from the tip, and additionally how much chalk remains on the cue ball. And after the first set of firm hits, we have a lot of mess around the strike area with a very distinct pattern. We're certainly losing a lot of chalk from our tip onto the cloth. So let's take a look at our cue ball. And we also have some issues here as well. We can clearly see chalk marks from at least 6 out of our 10 shots. So we're suffering badly here from chalk retention, which of course leads to potential cling, also known as skid or kick. So let's repeat that test for another 10 shots, but this time hard shots instead of firm. And whilst we're definitely not seeing an improvement here, it does not seem to have got much worse. But this is quite common during this test because the harder hit tends to distribute the chalk over a larger area, and additionally gives the cue ball a faster and longer roll time to potentially clean itself against the cloth. Speaking of which, let's check out the cue ball. And we can see we have some very serious problems. Again, you can see at least 6 chalk marks out of the 10, but just look at how bad 2 of them are, which were likely the last 2 shots. Those are huge marks, and you can even see the splatter around the near perfect circles. That really is about as bad as it gets. So overall, that's a shockingly bad result for the Kamikaze, to which we can only award half a star out of 5 for chalk retention. And for our next test, we're covering the essential yet seldom tested cleanliness. And to allow for this test to work, we did all of the initial chalking and then all of the re-chalking between shots during our chalk retention tests over a piece of plain white paper, to help us evaluate just how clean or downright dirty the chalk actually is. And unfortunately, once again for the Kamikaze, it's not good news. We definitely have a lot of mess from the Kamikaze. And interestingly, the particles are almost all large and are very uniform in size. And when compared to Master, we do see a similar particle size. But the Kamikaze has produced just so much more mess. And this is probably the dirtiest chalk we've seen since Great White. But unlike Great White, with the Kamikaze, we're also seeing a lot of mess around the strike zone as well. So the Kamikaze scores an unfortunate 1 star out of 5 for cleanliness.
Is my makeup okay?
And for our final test, we need to consider the bang for your buck and take a look at value for money. And with the lowest price we could find on Kamikaze chalk being around $3.50 a cube, it's definitely towards the lower end of the pricing spectrum when it comes to pool chalk. However, it has failed to shine in any of its test categories, and it's easily been outclassed by chalks such as Master and Triangle, which can be bought for less than 50 cents per cube. So although Kamikaze is not particularly expensive, it doesn't really have anything unique to offer, and so has no real advantages over considerably cheaper chalks such as Master. Therefore, we can only award 1 star out of 5 for value for money. And so now we need to award Kamikaze chalk with its official Average Joe's rating. And this is done by taking the average from across all of our 5 test categories. And despite scoring really well for application, there's just no getting around the fact that it underperformed in every other category, leaving us with an official Average Joe's rating of just 1.7 out of 5 stars. So that concludes our review on the Kamikaze pool chalk. And please do remember that if you're interested in buying some of this, we will be adding those Amazon links into the video description below. So please help to support us here at Average Joe's Pool. If you're going to buy it, please use our links. Also, talking of supporting us, can you take 1 second out of your busy schedule just to be sure you hit that like button before you leave us here on YouTube? If you haven't already done it, also please be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can get notifications on our upcoming videos. And if you enjoyed this video, we've done loads more pool chalk review videos which are all available on our YouTube channel. We really do appreciate it. We'll see you again.